If you want to know how to create a quick and groovy hi-hat pattern without using loops, this video is for you, so let's jump in. Friend Silvano here from roughingstudio.com. Today I wanted to share a little tool that I recently used for hi-hat patterns. It's created by Alexkid and it's called Hats4dayz. Maybe you already know this tool, but I also added some hacks to enhance the workflow and the efficiency. It's called the 128 and it was invented by Gates, I guess, many years back. But I think it works fine with this tool together. So just quickly let's play that hi-hat groove that I'm talking about. Yeah, it sounds like a normal, nothing fancy hi-hat groove, I know, but the point is we can create it really quickly if we set it up like I did, in my opinion. So we have a tool ready to go, so we can stay focused and in the flow mode, not worrying about technical things that gets in the way of destroying our flow, right? And so yeah. Okay, so let's start with this MIDI device, Hats4dayz. I quickly explain it. So on the very top, we have the triggers, right? And then further down, we have the probability play. So 100% means, of course, it plays every time the trigger runs through, or if I turn it down, 50%. No play. Played. Yeah. No play. But I want them to play. Yeah, I want to create a straight closed hi-hat groove here. And then further down we have the probability for the closed and open hi-hat. So for example, if it's on 0, the closed hi-hat is triggered every time the trigger runs through, right? Let's bring it up. And now the open hat is triggering now and then. Here, if I place it here and sometimes here, this means we get the open hat 100%, and now and then we get it here, right? Let's just play a little bit around here. And let's do here a random with the accents. We also have the probability thing, same as above, right? And I have the feeling this already sounds groovy to me. Yeah, and you see how quickly we got to this simple groove. But this is only the first step, right? We can enhance it now. So let's say this is cool, right? but we also can change the play direction. Also sounds cool. Okay, so the next thing we can do after the MIDI device is we actually need a sound to trigger, right? And some people just put in a drum rack, 707, 909, whatever. But in my case, I just used what they call 128s, right? And it was invented by a dubstep guy, Gates, years back, I guess. But it was copied by many people, so maybe you already know this technique. But yeah, I find it really helpful. And the thing is, what I can do here is I can switch between my samples, right? Closed hat here. So I can quickly change the sample, right, while playing, which is really handy. So now, how do we do that actually? So I'm going to show you this. So, okay, we have the MIDI sequencer here, Hats4dayz first. Then we need to do, the second step is we need a drum rack. So we insert one. And I know that 41 and 42 is F1 and F flat 1. And step 2 is there's the next step. I don't know which step it is, who cares. Next step is we need to add a instrument rack. Boom. Can I copy it? Yes, I guess so. Here. Okay, so we have here. This one is for closed hats. This one is for open hats. Now, the reason why they call it 128 is because we can load up to 128 sample, right, in one drum cell. So I go to my samples that I carefully choose before, right? Because if we download a sample library, we are lucky, because they often already sort them for us, closed hats, open hats in one folder and whatnot. So I just go to this closed drum cell, and I pre-selected already the closed hats, take them and drop them here into the instrument rack. Please don't crash. Yes. Now this is important. When I first tried to make this, the simpler always went to the classic mode, and in the classic mode, by default, I guess the release is really short. So every time I wanted to play that open hat, it just cut it like a closed hat, right? It was always not playing the full sample, so it sounded like a percussion or anything like that. And the important thing now here is, this is really important, really. Yeah, I recommend to go to the one shot preset, and then, but do this while there is no sample loader, right? And then you need to click and save as default preset, right? And then another very important thing is you need to go to the user library, boom, default folder, boom, and then here is the default simpler preset that we just saved, right? And now you need to drop this into the dropping samples folder on the drum rack, but also on device view, right? So every time you drop samples in it, we have the one-shot sample, the one-shot preset ready to go, instead of this classic with the release down, which is really annoying. So if you struggle with that, just go back to this video and yeah, do it that way and copy the stuff on to the right folder, because I was really struggling with this. I searched for it, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. Yeah, so we have loaded the closed hats. Now we do the same for the open hats. So just quickly summarize it. We created a drum rack, and within the drum rack we added an instrument rack. Now we loaded the samples into the instrument rack. Okay, so we have the closed hats. We go to this sample selector, I don't know, and we click on chain. Now select all, and now take this little sample selector all the way up to 127. Do the same here, right? Now next important step, right click on samples, distribute ranges equally. So now we have on every step a separate sample. This was the open, we do it for the closed also. Same goes here. Now we just need to create macros, map, select this bar here, map, chain selector, open hat, the same thing, map, chain selector, map, boom. Now I go to the drum rack and I map the chain selector here to this one, which is the open hat, I guess, and then same here, map, chain selector for the closed hats, leave it, closed hats, let's test it. Now if I don't like this one, yeah, it works, and that's it. Now we can save the whole thing, group together, and then just save it as a chain, and you have ready to go your hi-hat change, your hi-hat chain, right? So you can just pull it off, drop in stuff here, change the samples really quickly, and then you decide where you want to play them, and adding swing, play direction, whatever, and then that's it. Let's see if this also works with our rest. And then what we also could do is we could automate the playback direction that I did here in the break, and also we can change the sample by just drawing in a little automation, right? So yeah, that's it. There are probably a million ways to create hi-hat patterns, but I found this a really interesting way to do it and easy way, especially with the drum rack, instrument rack, racks within racks, right? To summarize it quickly, first step, the MIDI sequencer. And then the second thing is the powerful way of selecting the closed and open hats. You set it up once and then it's ready to go. Just save it as a template, right? As a chain. So you have your very own open and closed hi-hat chain if you want so. So to quickly summarize the part of creating this 128 is you create a drum rack and then you insert on the drum cells an instrument rack. Then you put all your samples into the instrument rack. Then you go to you select all of them and then go to the chain, drop it all the way up and then click right click distribute ranges equally, then creating the macros, sorry, and that's it. Don't forget to get the default settings right with the simpler, because yeah, this really annoyed me. I needed to search on Google for whatnot. So yeah, that's it. I hope this sparks some inspiration. Let me know in the comments how you program the hi-hats. And yeah, if you still struggle to get the low end right, as always, I have my 7-step low end checklist ready for you to download. And if you most of the time get the low end right and tight, but you still want maybe a reference guide if you're stuck now and then, yeah, go and download it. It's in the description below and it's for free, of course. So yeah, thanks for watching, thanks for your time, cheers.